Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you guys are doing well out there this morning. Got you an update on what's going to happen weather-wise for today, as we always do in these videos. And, obviously the big story of what's going on right now is a nor'easter impacting New England, the Northeast. We're not going to get super detailed on that this morning, as it's kind of a now thing. We're really over a quarter of the way through this storm already. And you guys just let me know what you're seeing out there. I already see a report in a town in western Massachusetts that has over 11 inches of snow, about a foot of snow. So for certain areas, this is certainly already verifying, but for other areas, it's still rain. Like Boston, the last time I checked, it's pouring down rain. It's just a cold rain out there. So, and we were kind of expecting that. We were expecting things to change around Eastern Mass a little bit later this morning, but let me know what you're seeing. Tag me on Twitter, Facebook, social media. I would love to see what you're seeing out there. And, we'll try to go over it one more time, but of course, getting super detailed. Not going to really try to do that for you guys because this is kind of evolving right now. But we'll talk about the rest of the country that we cover also, and then we'll also kind of break down a little bit what's going to happen going forward, because I'm expecting some pretty active times even after we get past this storm system. We have a storm system to watch in the Central Plains. It could bring some severe weather for areas of the South. We also have maybe some mischief down in Texas that we need to cover and try to figure out. And then I'm watching something this weekend and then maybe something next week. So we need to figure it all out. But if you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. If you guys got anything that I can pray about or pray over, as always, please put it in the comments below. Gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. Let's check out Water Vapor Loop. What you're seeing right here is our nor'easter. That's the spin. But another thing that we're watching is a feature. It's like a secondary low that's trying to develop kind of south of Long Island. This is going to dry slot somebody, meaning somebody is going to get less precipitation just in general than maybe what they were originally forecast, which means that somebody might get lower snow than maybe what they were thinking they were going to get. Models have been hinting at this over the last 2 days. And it's kind of verifying, but we got to see what exactly is it going to do to the actual precipitation field. What I can tell you is you got some wraparound moisture being pushed all the way into northern VA. Somebody tweeted just north of Washington, D.C., well north of Washington, D.C., that in Maryland, that, they're getting the most snow they've seen all winter. They're getting a little bit of a coating of snow on some of the surfaces out there. So it's really interesting to see how far south some of this wraparound moisture from this low pressure has made its way all the way back in here into areas in the mid-Atlantic this morning. So you're seeing a little bit of snow flying around. I'm expecting it to switch to a little bit of snow in New York City today, but it's going to be a tough one trying to call that area. But watches and warnings. There's freeze warnings in the deep purple right in here. Freeze watches in the light blue. Winter storm warnings all in the pink up here, and winter weather advisory surrounding the pink colors right here, which are the winter storm warnings. But Boston, I believe y'all have switched to actually a winter storm warning. But yeah, Boston's under a winter storm warning now, so confidence has increased that y'all are going to switch to a period of heavy snow that's going to warrant winter storm warnings. But New York City, Long Island, no winter alerts, no winter weather advisories, no winter storm warnings. And I think this will pretty much stay like that. But we'll see what happens. HRRR model. We'll take a look at radar right now and how this is unfolding. All rain being reported in Boston. People are doing a great job of giving us the reports here. Worcester, I think you're flipping back from rain to snow. But you guys, like I said, let me know what you're seeing. Springfield, it's snowing. That was a kind of an area that I mentioned last night that kind of might be in that gyp zone, if you will. But I was seeing there was a report of it snowing around Springfield before I went to bed last night around 8:39. So let me know what you've seen around that area. But like I said, Western Mass, you guys have picked up a lot of snow depending on where you are. But it is raining like crazy in Boston. But right up the road, it's snowing. Okay, so we expect this rain snow line to crash all the way to Eastern Mass, and you don't see it over here, but it is also snowing back here. Some reports of snow just north of Washington, D.C., even some reports of snow almost in Delaware. Okay, so, wraparound moisture. You don't see it because I don't have the radar up for this area, but it is snowing back here, snowing all the way up here, but I just have the radar out of Boston. But you keep this going here and how this can unfold throughout the day. Rain, Boston, rain. Switches to snow sometime around midday, I would say. At the same time, you got wraparound moisture pushing into New Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania. How much snow is going to fall in this area? That's a big question. And then you got some hints that this might switch back to rain along the southern sections of Connecticut, Rhode Island, in New York City. It's a tough area trying to figure out who's going to be rain, who's going to be snow. But we do know there's going to be a backside push of moisture that gets all the way down here pretty deep into New Jersey. It's just, like I said, you guys got to let me know what you're seeing, because this is a tough forecast. It really is. I mean, I think even like the city heat islands, just the bigger cities kind of pumping out more heat could affect areas of whether you're seeing, certainly if it's snowing, it's going to be tough to accumulate, but you're going to really need some heavy snow for anything to accumulate in the city limits of New York City, things like that. So you're going to need some heavy snow. But Boston, you're switching all to snow by early afternoon. Could be very heavy. But like I said, there's a little kind of inverted trough right here that shows kind of a gap in the moisture here on Long Island, southern Connecticut, and that's going to be a tough call. And then, this afternoon, this evening, it plows a low pressure right into eastern Mass. Is that actually going to happen, or is it? This would cut down any snowfall total significantly, but not all models are showing this. In fact, we look at the NAM. The NAM does not show this. Okay, the NAM keeps this low pressure pretty much offshore for the most part and keeps you all heavy snow for Boston all evening, all night, and then it tapers off Wednesday morning. Okay, so NAM really gets everybody pretty good in New England and slings that heavy band of snow. It's already moving in this morning. Will continue to move it into coastal regions of Maine. So, snowfall from this, we'll look at it one more time, guys. The blend of all models, and we'll show you this. Several more inches of snow is expected everywhere. I'm not going to get super detailed with this. I'm telling you, it's just a now thing, guys. It really is. It's an evolving situation. It really is. But in the higher elevations of the Catskills, the Berkshires, Central Mass, the Worcester Hills, Litchfield Hills, expect another several inches of snow to near a foot. I'm not sure what everybody has right at this moment, but expect a lot more snow. We're just starting to dive deep into this storm. Definitely not even close to being over yet. Boston, you guys could get a couple inches of snow, or you could get a half a foot, maybe 8 inches of snow. It's a very, very tough one to figure out. All right, so let's go down to the southeast. Quiet day today. Some lingering snow showers could drift into the southern Appalachian Mountains. West Virginia will be it's already kind of snowing a little bit out in West Virginia. These will try to kind of continue up in West Virginia. Maybe some lingering flurries in the higher elevations of North Carolina and Tennessee, but I think that was mainly yesterday's event. But for the rest of the day today, not a whole lot going on as we're getting into later this evening. I'm talking about starting to get into the overnight hours. Some showers will become more widespread in southern areas of Louisiana and then drift out into the Gulf of Mexico, but not a big deal at all. South central U.S., maybe a little bit of freezing drizzle out there in western Oklahoma, things like that. But this area of moisture will just be plain old rain for southern areas of Oklahoma into northern sections and northeast sections of Texas, but some shower activity possible in central Texas. Some weird stuff can happen in Texas as we get into the later part of this week, into this weekend. We'll talk about that a little bit later tonight. And I do want to remind you guys, I do have soccer practice tonight, so the video will drop a little bit later. But the north central U.S., much quieter day today. Not really any snow action for once. All the way until we get into tomorrow morning. And then maybe some moisture begins to enter the picture here in the Dakotas. But outside of that, there isn't much to speak on for the north central U.S. There really isn't. Temperatures today, the southeast, it'll be chilly. It'll feel kind of like a February or January kind of day. And the southeast, much chillier day across the deep south, the Gulf states where, it warmed. It's been kind of warmer, but the cold air has fully kind of gotten to the area now, so highs will struggle to just be in the 60s. Cold conditions in the mountains of North Carolina and even Tennessee, highs only in the 30s. Some areas, will be below freezing. And West Virginia, a cold day. Southwest Virginia, Western Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh probably won't get above freezing today. Pretty cold temperatures for mid-March standards in these areas. So, going forward, guys, we watch upper troughing that sets up. So this is our system right now. And what happens here? A piece of energy kind of digs down. This is an upper trough, and then piece of energy shoots off of it. A low pressure develops right into here somewhere. This will pull some low-level moisture up into the Gulf, the south central U.S., create a severe weather threat down here. Right now, there's a slight risk for day 3. And as you can tell, here it is right here. All threats are possible. Damaging winds and hail is the biggest threat right now, I think. But we'll get a little bit detail into this tonight, but it's going to take us getting into tomorrow before we really know the evolution of these storms. But some of these same sections of the U.S., it's always under the gun or under the gun again. But I'm not expecting an outbreak or anything, but we'll have to watch this because I haven't dug deep into this yet. So I'll dig into it a little bit throughout the day today, and I will try to figure it out. But the upper troughing continues, sets up, dives down, and not only does this bring storm chances, it's bringing a lot of cold air as we're getting into this weekend. And we have to watch pieces of energy that kind of bubble up down here deep in Texas. Energy is being suppressed from this upper trough and this big time kind of push of cold, unusually cold air for March. And then this is a big time trough setting up. And we just got to watch because, troughing continues to set up all the way through kind of next week. So this storm system, here's the latest GFS. We got to watch a winter storm somewhere in Nebraska into areas of Iowa, maybe southern Minnesota, some snow even as far southwest as New Mexico, Colorado, the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas. It's certainly possible, but we got to watch for a bigger snow. GFS has ticked a little bit towards the Euro, so you got to watch some snow here in areas of southern Minnesota, Iowa, northern Wisconsin, the UP and Michigan as we're getting into Thursday to Friday. And then obviously we got to watch some severe weather down here. And we'll be able to get much more focused in on that as we get into these short range models. But we keep this going, and here it is. Cold air's digging down. You got kind of just Gulf moisture still trying to bubble up with an active southern jets, and a lot of cold air coming down with high pressure dominating this region. And look at this blue showing up here right outside of Dallas, snow. And this kind of moves into the eastern U.S., and then we watch it again kind of bubble up down here with cold air nearby, a lot of shallow cold air. And then, you see a little blue show up here Sunday afternoon, blue down here. I know I'm saying blue, but it's saying snow. It's hard for me to say snow because this isn't a forecast. It's something we need to figure out. But you're seeing a little winter weather mischief signal somewhere in Texas as we get into the end of this week, really into this weekend. And we got to watch this piece of energy as it kind of shoots in and does something pretty insane for the eastern U.S. But for the eastern U.S., there's really two sections I'm watching. One is this kind of antifront kind of deal where basically you got a cold front moving in, you got a low pressure riding the front. And there's a possibility that there's enough cold air catching up to this moisture that you get a little bit of snow somewhere in West Virginia, Southwest Virginia, Northeast Tennessee, the mountains of basically the southern Appalachian Mountains, maybe eastern areas of Kentucky. We got to watch how this trends. This will be a rainmaker Friday for the southeast into Saturday morning. And after that, cold air moves in, and then we watch a low pressure that moves in. And this is what you're going to get tossed all over social media today, is this crazy snowstorm from Atlanta to Greenville, Spartanburg to Charlotte. And it is an absolute doozy. And it's going to get all the winter weather fans kind of hyped, if you will. But please remember, this is just one model run. But what I can tell you about this storm signal right here is, one, the Euro doesn't show it like this. It does show something here, but it doesn't show this much snow. And there's not going to be this much snow. But there is a storm signal early to midway next week that we need to watch with cold air nearby. And this is kind of the funky stuff that I was talking about several weeks back that I thought was going to happen in March. So we just need to watch it. We need to watch it. But that's pretty much all I got. I was able to do this in 15 minutes. God bless all y'all. Have a great day. And let me know what you're seeing out there in the Northeast. I would love to know. Have a great day, and I'll be with y'all guys this evening.